Hello and welcome to a real life video. I am Speed Demon TS10. We're again in the world of trains. I am the original Speed Demon. And this is all footage that I took when I visited the Tennessee Valley Railroad Museum on my last family vacation. It is June 23rd, 2024, and I have actually arrived early at 8 a.m. to make sure I was one or the first person in line to grab the in-cab steam ride tickets. I was really excited to either be riding inside the cab of Southern 4501 or Southern 630. To my surprise, there wasn't anybody else lining up that day for the in-cab steam ride, but that didn't matter. The weather was nice and I was enjoying the scenery. So while I was waiting for the ticket booth to open, I was looking at the pictures and the Norfolk Southern freight that was passing by. So after I bought the in-cab ride ticket, I decided to explore the gift shop at the museum. And they had a lot of nice railroading stuff in there, and an Abomination tank engine. So I bought two in-cab steam ride tickets, the first run and the second to last run, and the train was going to be pulled by number 630. And while I was waiting for number 630 to arrive, I was exploring the rest of the museum, and I started seeing even more pictures. Some of it looked like it was from the Norfolk Southern or Southern Steam program. So I still had plenty of time before 6:30 was to arrive. I started exploring the outside of the museum, looking at the various locomotives and rolling stock. And the previous day, when we were still on our way to the rental place at Tennessee, Southern 4501 was pulling the Somerville Special, which I wish I'd gone on that trip. What I just heard should have been a warning. As departure time got closer, I went ahead to the platform and awaited for number 630's arrival. I was so excited to be riding inside the cab of a steam locomotive. While waiting for number 630 to arrive, another Norfolk Southern freight came by on the main line. So the first train was arriving a little late for some reason, but at last the train was near, and I was so excited to see black smoke coming this way, but instead, this thing showed up. Yep, a red and yellow box on wheels. So it turns out Southern 630 was supposed to pull today's train, but the previous night she had a mechanical problem, and the Tennessee Valley Railroad Museum put Southern 4501 to bed that night after she pulled a Somerville special. So I was just crying mentally nonstop, because this was like last year when I tried to ride behind a 611. Despite the great, terrible disappointment, I already paid for the in-cab ride tickets, and I might as well use them.
Jason is 907 clear. 907 is clear. We're still all talking about I got 661 at the show.
And by the way, the museum did offer to refund me the difference between the steam cab ride and the diesel cab ride.
Looking good, 3 more, 710.
But I told them to keep the money and use it to help 4501 and 630 keep rolling. So the 9:30 train was on its way to the East Chattanooga shops. I was finally going to meet them in person.
Let's go for spin.
So we arrived at the East Chattanooga shops, where the passengers were let off, but I got to stay in the cab to ride on the turntable. So even though I wasn't going to get there right behind 630 or 4501, it was still really nice to see the living legends in person.
Everybody else.
Oh. I was going to say, were we supposed to follow you this way?
No. That's my shortcut.
Ah, okay.
You didn't want to hop the train? The chain?
Do I want to let y'all hop the chain?
I said you didn't want to hop the chain?
No. That's because the other day I split a pair of pants in that.
Yeah.
Oof.
Not fun. That steam locomotive right there was built in October 1911 by the Baldwin Locomotive Works of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, for the Southern Railway as their very first New Mikado delivered to them. They had 485 locomotives built, just like the 4501, that being the first of 485. Of those 485 built, 484 of them were cut for scrap. That means 4501 was the first one built and the last one left. And you might be wondering, how would the Southern Railway have been able to maintain those 485 steam locomotives? Well, in actuality, at one point, they had over 2,000 steam locomotives in total to maintain. So what we're going to do is go back to the year 1924, 100 years ago. We're going to go to a town called Spencer, North Carolina. At Spencer is the Southern Railway Spencer Shops. You can still visit the Spencer Shops. It's now owned by the North Carolina Transportation Museum. I'm going to ask y'all a question. Do y'all think our building in here is pretty big?
No.
Fit 4 pieces of equipment in here. And Spencer, man, he should build his own railroad over there, isn't he? He must be inspired. Well, anyway, this back shop at Spencer can hold up to 20 full-size steam locomotives and their tenders, where we can only fit 4 in here if we really tried. What they would do is they would take their steam locomotives, put it in the shop, they would tear it down to the bare frame, inspect every single moving part on the engine, and then put it back together with brand new parts. Steam locomotive parts are not what I would consider in great demand. That means if we need a part, nobody makes it, what do?
Build
We
it.
have to make it. That means I'm not going down the street to Loco Zone or Jimmy's Rail Parts or Amazon.com to order a new part. We have to make it ourselves. 4501 cost us in 2014 over $2 million to restore. The last time I checked, that's a lot of money. How do we afford that big old bill? First of all, we're a non-profit organization. We accept federal grants and donations. Number 2, we also pull freight trains around Chattanooga. We don't just pull passenger trains here all day long. But the number 1 most important thing is standing in front of me now. Who is that, friends? Tourist. Well, I'd say every single one of you. I wouldn't call you a tourist. I'd call you a friend or a passenger. Some of you might be tourists. I don't know. Had a guy from England yesterday. Yeah, I'm definitely a tourist. Say, I'll call you a friend anyway. Well, friends, before we go, I want to say thank you for coming and riding with us today. It's been an absolute pleasure. As you can see, we're in the process of switching around our steam locomotive. That was what's supposed to be pulling your train today. Unfortunately, had some issues arise over the night, and that has prevented it from operating today. But we're glad you still guys got to come out and see it. You still got to get up close and personal with the steam locomotive right here. So, friends, you guys got any questions you'd like to ask? Any questions at all? Got any questions, folks? All right, well, if y'all want to take some time and take some pictures of the 4501 with your family, you're more than welcome to. Just please don't climb on it. And as soon as you guys are ready, we're going to head on back to the train. Thank you so much. Oh, we're visiting depot in case you need some full train. Thank you, folks, all aboard. Take care.
Radio, check about down.
Are you riding in the cab again at 2 or just with
Yeah,
the back?
2 o'clock, because I was going right on 6:30
Okay.
twice.
Yeah, well, you got air conditioning on the 5000.
Make a living with no AC. I'm not worried about it. I was prepared for the heat of 6:30.
Yeah. All right. See you later.
All right then. So despite not having the steam, the sounds of the whistles, or even the smell of coal smoke, it was still an enjoyable first cab ride.
No, it's not.
That's Norfolk Southern.
Yeah. That's not ours. It's
No, it's coming from back that way.
oh yeah, and it's on the different line.
Yeah, that's Norfolk Southern's line.
Yeah. And he's double trailered. Wow. Intermodal freight.
Yep.
We got the intermodal freight department people down there in Huntsville, Alabama.
Yeah.
International intermodal. Probably loaded. Is he coming from the south or going north?
I think he's going west. Now arriving on track 1, train number 5000, Missionary Ridge. Hello again.
There you go.
Alright, which end? Alright. So here we go. The second cab ride on Southern's number 5000.
Whenever you get your cab rider ready, whole situation, you can drop that ramp flag. We're ready for a signal.
Alright, drop the ramp flag. He's on board. We're ready to go.
Kingdom 7, 3 north, okay?
It's not as loud as in here as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, it's nice with the windows closed.
get to Somerville from Grand Junction?
Go like we're going right now, and right before we get to the shop area, there's a switch.
The one
It goes off to the right down a steep hill, and it goes down to what's called the Bell Line, down to 23rd Street. We get on Norfolk Southern branch line for just a minute, and then we get on the Chattooga and Chickamauga Railway, which is an old Central of Georgia line.
Oh, okay.
Leave yard limit, East Chattanooga.
No, it's not, 5K.
Oh, we were spot. Normal. That's where you go down on the Bell Line off to your right.
Okay. Nice.
You got my 3 step back, drag them out.
Right forward to 3 step, 5,000. Travis.
Good.
That's just Jim Field switch, but a little cantankerous for you when you run this thing.
The last time I ran this engine was Tuesday, I believe, on a belt job, and it behaved just fine.
Okay.
Well, worst case scenario, you got Big Blue sitting up there.
I mean, it reset it a couple times and it came back, so I'm not too worried about it. It's failing to come on, not turn off, so that's what not that big of a deal.
Like I said, worst case scenario, if we can make it back to Grand Junction, we've got 710 over there, or we've got Big Blue over here.
Yeah, I mean, once it comes back, it's fine. I haven't had any other trouble with it. So.
Oh man, what a day for mechanical breakdowns, ain't it?
Bring it up, okay. Hold on, what's down right there, 5K. Jason, front the foot. Now you can bring it on 5K. Here we go.
Here we go, do-si do.
Hey, Travis.
Yep.
Well, drop him again. He wants to go see the steam engines again. So you want me to come on? He's on up and let him down.
Yeah, come on up here.
Heck yeah. Considering to live 600 miles away from here, and I didn't get to do the in-cab ride with number 630. The least I was going to do is enjoy the whole day looking at the steam engines.
as we head on over to the shop, you will see steam locomotive number 610. This little locomotive was built in 1952 for the U.S. Army and was the final steam locomotive manufactured for domestic use in the United States by a commercial builder. It was used at Fort Eustis, Virginia until the early 1970s, and it operated here from 1990 until 2010. You also see steam locomotive 4501 built in 1911. Enough about our wheel shop and the mechanics in here. We'll talk a little bit about some of the equipment you're seeing in here today and just what we are doing to it. In the very back corner back there, you see that stainless steel passenger car. That is car number 832. That car was built in 1949 for the Southern Railway by the Budd Company. It was used on trains such as the Royal Palm, Tennessean, Ponce de Leon, and the Crescent. It is a 52-seat coach and has been completely restored inside and out because it was totally gutted when it came to us about 12 years ago. We've spent about the last 3 or 4 years totally rebuilding that car inside and out. New upholstery, new flooring, new plumbing. We've completely redone all the electrical in it. So that car hopefully will be going into service here in just the next 2 or 3 weeks. Locomotive 606 here beside me. This little locomotive was built in the mid-1950s, 1954 by General Motors for the Chicago, Milwaukee, St. Paul, and Pacific Railroad, more commonly known as the Milwaukee Road. This little locomotive is a switching locomotive. It was used for shuffling cars around in yards or terminals. It's only 1,200 horsepower, but it weighs 120 tons. It's a little chunk of lead is what it is. This little locomotive came to us from the U.S. Navy in 2015. They purchased it from the Milwaukee Road a number of years back. But it is a model SW1200. We do use it on our passenger trains some, but it's primarily a yard switcher. It is a favorite of our engineers to run because we do often run it cab first. You can see it has those big large windows on the back of it, so visibility is excellent when you're going down the railroad on this little engine. It is in here in the shop for its quarterly inspection. Every 92 calendar days the engine is in service. We do have to completely go through the locomotive and make sure it is still safe to operate. We have to check electrical, mechanical. We have to check the underframe of the engine. Adding fluids as necessary, whether it be cooling water, air compressor oil, or crankcase oil. But this little locomotive, it takes us about 2 to 3 days to do a thorough 92-day inspection, and so the engine should be back in service later this week. The only other piece of equipment I'm really going to point out here inside the shop today is this passenger car over here. That is car number 98. That car was built in 1917 by Pullman for the Baltimore and Ohio Railroad. It was built for exclusive use by the president of the Baltimore and Ohio Railroad as his private office on wheels. So if you worked for the B&O Railway in 1917, you did not want to see that car come rolling into your terminal because chances are you or someone you know is probably going home without a job at the end of the day. But car 98 came here to TPRM in the early 1970s. We operated it until 2019 when it was taken out of service in need of a complete ground to ceiling overhaul. Literally, we have replaced part of the roof on it. So there's a true ground to ceiling overhaul. This car, once it goes back into service here, hopefully within just a few weeks, because we are getting it prepped for a nice fresh coat of its original Baltimore and Ohio paint. This car will go back into service as the most luxurious car in our collection. The interior of the car is lined with solid mahogany. It has a solid oak dining table in it. It has sleeping compartments, a full kitchen. It has a lounge area at the back. And the best way to ride in that car is to rent it out for your own private party. You can put it on any train here in the Chattanooga area that we run. It holds 8 to 10 people comfortably, 12 if you really like each other. But I will be honest with you, it is not cheap. The last time we ran that car on our Somerville trip, which is our longest trip that we offer, 104 miles round trip, about a little under 10 hours, it was $1,600 to rent that car for the whole day. No, for the whole group. That was $1,600 for the whole group. We got 10 people, that's $160 a person. I would imagine with a little bit of inflation, it's probably up to about $2,000 for the whole day. It's been about 5 years since we ran it. I haven't seen any set pricing yet on it. But even then, if you have 10 people, that's $200 a person. First class tickets in our dome car that we run on that train now is $250 a person. So for $200 a person, you get your own, if you have 10 people, you've got your own private railroad car with your own private attendant, breakfast and lunch served to you in the dining room of that rail car, and you have your own private railroad car for an entire day. Not a bad deal if I say so myself. Of course, prices are often lower for the other trips we run, whether it be the dinner train, Chickamauga turn, or if you want to cruise around back and forth on the local train all day. But that car, once it goes back into service again, will be the most luxurious car in our collection here at TVRM. Now, we are a museum here. We're a non-profit museum. By buying a ticket to ride our train today, you are helping us to preserve the golden age of the American Railroad. That's a legacy that we've been working now for 63 years to preserve. One of my favorite phrases around here, as America built the railroads built America.
I was still sad I didn't get to ride inside 4501 or 630, but I was still glad to spend the whole day seeing the living legends up close and personal. So it was time to return to Grand Junction.
Wow.
Yeah, they're from different railroads. It's just a coincidence they have similar numbers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but 610 was never a Southern engine. It was always Army.
Oh, okay.
On the way back to Grand Junction, I did have a very nice conversation with the engineer of number 5000.
Well, actually, one of 630 sisters is in Great Smoky, if I'm not mistaken, 722.
Yeah, parts of it. About half of it's up in Strasburg being worked on right now.
Oh, well, that's a good thing.
Yeah. It hadn't run since 1985 when it was here.
Oh, okay. 722 worked here?
Yeah, it and the 630 were both leased here for a while, and then they took the NS took 722 to Asheville, so their NRHS chapter could put it on display there, and it ended up getting bought by Great Smoky about, I don't know, 25 years ago. They're just now doing something with it, and then the 630 was donated here.
Right, because
For a long time, it operated here on a lease. After the Southern decided it was too small for the steam program back in the 70s.
I was going to say it was them two and 4501 were like the very first 3 steam engines in the program.
Yeah, and the 750.
Oh yeah, that's right, 750 was.
be boarding the passenger cars.
All right.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Bye-bye. Overall, I did enjoy spending the whole day at the Tennessee Valley Railroad Museum. The staff and crew of the museum were kind and friendly. It was a great place to spend time with trains and railroading. Cab rides were the best part of the trip. If you have never been to the Tennessee Valley Railroad Museum, I would highly recommend you going. Hopefully when you go, you'll be able to enjoy Southern 4501 and 630 under steam. But thanks to K&L Trains, I can still run and drive 4501, 630, or any steam locomotive I want. So now I'm going to try to catch up on my trains videos. I'm actually planning to live stream the new Pennsylvania and Berowinds number 1086 here on her new updated home rails. After my live stream, I will be working on the Canadian Pacific's Jubilee video. I'm sorry that my videos are taking me longer to make. I've been busy with work and going through a hard time lately. Thank you all so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will talk to you again in the next one.